You are listening to the Urban V. Griffin Jr. podcast here on Spreaker.com.
Dedicate this award to the late great Prince. Rest
in peace. And what you just heard was part of the BillBoard Awards, and I am just going to go ahead and talk about part of this, which I'm going to cut some music on in the background. And actually, that's not the one I wanted. Excuse me. There we go. Anyway, let me say this, and I'd already made a ATSBS video on YouTube about this, and I'm just going to go into it again. Again, in this situation, I actually have no ill towards Madonna, but I felt it was a bad choice. And the explanation by Linda Perry saying that the BillBoards probably wanted somebody more relevant, saying Sheila E., The Time, and Shaka Khan wasn't relevant and such. I cry BS on that because those guys had a way closer connection to Prince. I mean, this felt like almost like what WWE does sometimes with their wrestling cards. They just slap something together and then just throw it out there. I felt the thing with Madonna was, quite, can I say, whitewashed. And on this one, I don't hold any ill towards Madonna. But I think she was picked at random because they want to throw somebody out there. Of course, I think somebody up there figured out that we better put Stevie Wonder in, because Stevie Wonder had a way closer connection to Prince than Madonna did. In fact, word is, and this is from what some of my subscribers on YouTube, at least one of them told me, is that she actually, Prince didn't chill with Madonna like that. In fact, word was he didn't really care for Madonna. So if that's true, that's even more of an insult, in my opinion. But it's like, these award shows have now become almost the great white hope rather than showcasing the best, regardless of gender, regardless of race. It's like they've almost become the great white hope in a way. And this whole thing with Prince, and like, again, not Madonna's fault, but I felt it came up with insult. Not to mention, the singing of his song just did not sound terrible. There were several that I thought if they'd have really thought about it, they could have put on an awesome concert. If you had to leave in Madonna, fine. But you could have had Sheila E., you could have had The Time, you could have Shaka Khan, you could have had Rosie Gaines, you could have had the members of Expose, who Prince did write a hit song for them called Seasons Change. If it wasn't for the controversy she created, I would have said get Sinead O'Connor, but we know that ain't going to happen. D'Angelo, if you listen to his voice and style, he sounds a lot like Prince. Ready for the World was influenced. Shalimar and Jodie Watley, of course, she was part of Shalimar. They were a lot closer to Prince. In fact, they were influenced. Marsha Ambrosia, or even the guy you saw that may have heard at the tail end of that audio, The Weeknd, was very influenced by Prince. So you could have put a real good tribute segment together for Prince rather than just slapping and letting Madonna being the only one, which I don't want to sound like Tariq Nasheed or something, because I've really gotten away from most of that pro-black stance. But there are times that those type of guys, that what they say and think, if that's what they really think, is relevant. And in this case, I would definitely say yes. This felt whitewashed. This felt rushed. And the fact that you only had one artist do that, when really it should have been a group of people dedicating to Prince. It's kind of like when they did those tributes to Michael Jackson. Like, I felt insulted in case for people wondering and say, oh, you just going off on Madonna because she's a white woman. I'm like, no. When they did the tributes to Michael Jackson, they were rushed. A lot of them were rushed. Like when they had Lil Wayne and so, like, what? There's only two that I saw that I thought was three that I saw that was a true tribute to Michael Jackson, in my opinion. The one with Janet Jackson at the MTV Music Awards that same year in 2009. The one Chris Brown did, I thought was a true tribute. Because regardless of what you think of Chris Brown, he really loved and admired Michael Jackson. And the one that New Edition did of one of the Jackson 5 songs, who they were very influenced by Michael Jackson and the Jackson brothers in general. So those three were the only ones I felt were true tributes. I couldn't stand Lil Wayne's freaking tribute. It was garbage. And I felt this Prince tribute was something garbage and whitewashed. And the fact that they kept paying it to the crowd, only looking at with the exception of Rihanna and The Weeknd, the fact that they only kept paying it to them, was like, okay, I know there's more black people there than that. And no, I think Sheila E. has every right to be upset. Because I think she, The Time, Shaka Khan, Rosie Gaines, members of the Revolution, who there are white folks in that, they should have been there. So should have New Power Generation, if any of them are still around. They should have been there. D'Angelo, Lenny Kravitz, Weeknd, Shalimar, if they're still around. Certainly Jody Watley. I mean, there's several that should have been, that would have been more appropriate to do something. And if you would have had time to put something together instead of slapping it together like that, you could have started working. As soon as you knew Prince was deceased and you knew those awards were coming up, you could have been slapping something together then. Instead, you wait to the last minute and you said, oh, we're only going to invite Madonna and Stevie Wonder, which was a load of crap. I would have rather seen Adam Levine, because from what I heard and what little bit I've heard of it, he actually tore Purple Rain up. He actually did it justice. I would have rather seen him. Anyway, that's my two cents. Nothing against Madonna, but BillBoard Awards, that was a major fail. You can check my podcast on Spreakers.com. Check me out on YouTube under the name Irvin Griffin, a.k.a. Mr. Griffin, and go to Twitter under my handle of Griff Phoenix. I am Irvin V. Griffin Jr. You have a nice day, folks.